Hello everyone, this is Dane. Welcome to my first Pokemon anime discussion in many years. Today we're going to be talking about the new Pokemon series, Mezase Pokemon Master, or probably the English title is going to be Pokemon Aim to be a Pokemon Master. So from what I could tell from these summaries and titles and all of that, so far at least, this really just seems like a nostalgia trip. This whole series just feels like that's what it's doing. It's not going to do anything crazy as far as we can tell, but everything that we're seeing is just going to be celebrating the Pokemon series with Ash through all the 25 years that we've had him. So let's go ahead and get started with the first episode of the new series, The Wind of Beginnings, The Eternal Road. Ash and Pikachu continue their adventure going wherever the wind blows, interacting with wild Pokemon they meet along the way, while Team Rocket tries to steal Pikachu, as always. And that's how the days go on this never-ending adventure. But one day, while traveling through a forest, they encounter the legendary Pokemon Latias, injured. Okay, this I feel like is a weird start, at least from the summary and the little bits that we've seen. There's a little bit of in the preview where we see Ash is riding Latias, but I feel like this episode is just kind of introducing us to continuity in a way, because we can see some stuff. Apparently in the cast list we see Brock and Misty are in there. I don't think they're showing up because they are showing up later. I think that's just going to be flashbacks or whatever, but this episode is just going to be a classic Team Rocket episode with a Latias in it. I feel like that's all that's really going to happen, and then they're going to try to steal Pikachu, and maybe we'll get to hear about Team Rocket's old Pokemon. It would be really cool if all of a sudden they show up. How crazy would that be if one of Team Rocket's Pokemon just randomly shows up again and they use it? Of course, I don't think we're going to have the Gotcha Machine. I think that is done. If the Gotcha Machine shows up in this episode, I am going to rage, and I feel like everyone else is going to as well, because that is a Journeys thing. Please don't bring that back. Please. But them just trying to capture Pikachu just seems like an old classic thing they do. And, you know, I'm all for that, because we didn't get too much of that in Journeys or in Sun and Moon or whatever, because they tried to make Team Rocket different and even, well, or not appear at all in Journeys. So I'm glad they're here in the first episode. That's a good sign at least. But having Latias here is very interesting, because there's a few things here. This Latias could actually be the movie 5 Latias that people are hoping for. I've seen some people talking about that. It's a possibility, but I don't think so. That would be way too, like, okay, you have to watch this specific movie to know what this Latias is. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's just going to be a random Latias that Ash flies on, that we see in the previews, and he's going to get like nostalgic for his old adventures, and maybe we'll see some flashbacks of his traveling companions. But then that's going to lead into the next couple episodes where, well, they kind of return. I guess that's kind of a spoiler for the next coming part here. So I feel like this episode is just going to be a nostalgia trip and introducing us to our traveling companions again through flashbacks before we actually get on to the meat and potatoes of the next couple episodes. So coming up in episode 2, we have Ash versus Misty, a one-on-one on the beach. That's right, she's back. As Ash and Pikachu continue their adventure, they reach the sea, where they encounter a wild Clauncher on the beach that Ash attempts to get. However, he's stopped by his former traveling companion, Misty. Both of them insist on getting the Clauncher themselves, though decided to settle it with fishing. However, so this episode screams Totodile. Remember how the Totodile episode happened? I feel like they're just going to do that again, because they were trying to argue about who gets the Totodile, and in the end, you know, they did the battle, yada yada yada. I feel like they're just trying to capture that nostalgia again, and we can kind of see this in later summaries too, that they're just trying to give us what these characters were about, or at least an episode in the series. Like, this screams Johto, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, but, you know, this could be fun. This could be a fun episode. Of course, Misty's back, so that's always fun. But then trying to get this Clauncher of all things. Why a Clauncher? You know, I love Clauncher. Clauncher is actually one of my favorite Pokemon, but I'm not Ash. And Ash all of a sudden wants a Clauncher of all things. I mean, I would love, absolutely love for Ash to get a Clauncher. But in his final series in the last 11 episodes, I don't know about that exactly. So what I feel like is going to happen here is that they're going to have a battle fishing or whatever. Then they're not going to get the clauncher in general. They're just going to battle each other, and they're going to forget about the clauncher or something like that because they're going to have so much fun spending time with each other or something. I don't know. That could happen, I guess. We do see a little bit in the preview as well, where Ash encounters Misty while she's fishing. I assume that's from this episode. And then there's actually a screenshot where we see Ash and Misty fishing, but he's got like a little on the bobber part where the lure is. That's where it's got silence. I don't know if that's from this episode or if that's from a later episode. I assume it's from this episode unless they fish later on too, which that's a possibility. But yeah, Misty's back in this episode. Look forward to that, I guess. That'll be fun. So coming up in episode 3, we have Brock, Silent, and the Forest Witch. That's right, our boy Silent's back. Ash and Pikachu reunite with their former traveling companions, Brock and Silent. Though Brock seems to be really down due to a fresh heartbreak, however, he's then suddenly abducted by Wild Hatterene. I think that's how you say it. Why did this happen, and can Ash, Misty, and Silent get him back? Alright, so confirmation. We kind of already knew this from weeks ago, I think, that Misty is going to travel along with Ash past her episode. And I assume after this episode, Brock's going to be doing the same. How crazy would it be, though, if after this episode, Silent goes with him too, and Ash just has everybody? That would be awesome. I don't think that's going to happen. From what it seems like, Ash, Misty, and Brock are going to be the main trio, and they're going to stick with him after this. I could be wrong on that. They could only be in this couple episodes and they leave again. But I think it's really cool that Misty and Brock are going to stick with him. It looks like for a little bit. We can see in the poster that Misty and Brock are kind of a focal, like they are together with Ash. So I feel like they're going to be in this series quite a bit. Maybe the whole thing, possibly. We don't really know for sure though. Now, I don't really like the idea of them splitting Silent and Iris up like this. I don't like it. One of the hopes I had for this series, and I was actually wanting to make a video on this earlier, but I didn't have the opportunity, is I want this series to bring back our companions, but bring them together, if you know what I mean. Like, have Silent and Iris together, have Clement, Bonnie, and Serena together, have Dawn and Brock together, you know, that kind of thing. And May and Max, if that's a possibility, we don't know. I want that to happen, but from what it seems like here, they aren't doing that, so that's a disappointment. They're bringing Brock and Silent, which is cool because they had that special back in Best Wishes, but I don't like. I want Iris and Silent to interact in some way because they haven't. I don't know. I missed that. But it doesn't seem like that's happening unless Silent comes back later for the Iris episode, because we're probably going to have an Iris episode later, of course. So there's that. So Brock is going to be having heartbreak, and he's going to be abducted by a Hatterene. Okay. Seems weird. Just seems like another nostalgia trip. It kind of seems fillerish, honestly. I've seen some people talking about that. We've seen a little bit in the previews with Brock. There's actually a screenshot of Brock and Pikachu, so I don't know if that's a reference to something earlier that they are just reanimating, or if that's just something that happens in this episode or something later, because Brock is wearing his doctor outfit. So yeah, there's that. I don't know what else to say about this, except I'm glad Silent's back. That's really cool. I hope he gets some references of his things that he did in his series, obviously. But I am disappointed that Iris and Silent aren't together, at least right now. Now, that could always happen later, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so for the last 2 episodes, there really isn't much to say, because they only have titles, but I thought I'd mention them anyway, just so we can knock them out for right now. Episode 4 is titled Bear Tick Sigh. That's it. That's all we got. I don't know what to say about this. Everyone's thinking this is fillerish. I've seen some comments saying that this could be an Iris episode because of Bear Tick, Ice, you know, Ice Dragon, yada yada yada. It could be something like that. Maybe Team Rocket's going to be involved in some way, but because we don't have summary for this or the next episode, there's not a whole lot to really say. But a Bear Tick, out of all the things that can happen in Ash's final series, an episode is titled around a Bear Tick. This is a very, very weird decision, and I hope that these episodes that we're talking about, the summaries and the titles and all that, are kind of just misleading, and there's gonna be other stuff in them that are like, oh, that's really, really cool. Now, but something I haven't mentioned yet is the fact that we got confirmation as of, I think today, as of this recording, that Ash's old Pokemon are coming back, and Ash is going to be using them. This is something that I wanted in Journey so bad, but it didn't happen. Now, thinking on it, and I've seen some people actually kind of mad about this, but I think I understand what they were doing at the time. I don't like the idea of them bringing back the old Pokemon in the last 11 episodes, but at the same time, I kind of get it, because they wanted the Journey Pokemon to shine on their own, and that's why they didn't use reserves in Journeys. Now, it's a toss-up. Like, do you want reserves in the last series, but his Journeys Pokemon did not shine? Well, of course, that didn't really matter, because in my opinion, his Journeys team was kind of awful in terms of characters and all of that, and their battles or whatever. I didn't like his Journeys team very much, but I understand what they were going for. I just don't think it was executed very well. Now, it seems like in this series, Ash is bringing back his old Pokemon. We see in some screenshots that Noivern's there. We see Sceptile. We see Buizel, my boy. Buizel's coming back. That's exciting. I'm so hyped for that. But Noivern of all people. Noivern, that lovable little big old dragon that was not very good is coming back. Yeah, that's a thing. But Sceptile, oh my gosh, that's hype. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen in this episode. Like maybe his old Pokemon will just randomly show. I mean, I wouldn't say randomly show. How is he gonna get them? Is he just gonna go to a random Pokemon Center and get them from Professor Oak or something? Like, where are they at? Did he bring just a handful with him on these episodes that they just don't talk about, and he'll just randomly use it? Wouldn't that be awesome though? If all of a sudden, like, he gets attacked by a Pokemon, he decides to throw out a random Pokemon, he doesn't say who it is, and all of a sudden it's freaking Infernape, or it's Donphan, or it's oh, by the way, yeah, Donphan's another one that we see in the screenshots here. That would be kind of exciting and really hype. So we do get confirmation here that he is bringing back old Pokemon, so that is really exciting. However, I kind of wish that it wouldn't happen in the last 11 episodes. As for the final episode, this one's actually airing on February 10th. Episode 5, Enter the Squirtle Fire Brigade. Let's freaking go. Our boy Squirtle is back. Oh my gosh, this is a nostalgia trip. Oh, everyone's going to be excited about this. I mean, our boy Squirtle Squad, let's go. Okay, that's all we know though. We don't know any summaries or anything. But this one's exciting because it's Squirtle. Now, this is interesting because they could do they could do something here, and I don't know if a lot of people would like it or they want him to stay with. Okay, what I'm trying to say here is, do you want him to join back with Ash, or do you want him to stay in the Squirtle Squad? I feel like he's just going to stay in the Squirtle Squad, and Ash is just going to, you know, accept that. You know, he's just going to meet him again. They're going to have an episode with Officer Jenny. They're going to be trying to stop a fire or something. I don't know. I feel this whole series, every title and summary that we've seen so far is not really anything major. It's not really any big story beats. It's just kind of meeting old Pokemon, talking with them, hanging out with them, doing a thing, and then they're leaving. Now that's the whole series, it seems like so far, and I'm okay with that. I think for the most part, there's a few things I would like them to do that it doesn't seem like they're doing, like the Iris and Silent thing. That Iris isn't there, unless she's there and we just don't know, and they kind of hiding it from us, which I seriously doubt. But yeah, that's all we got on that episode. So I think that's going to be everything. Now, normally, guys, I would only talk about an episode at a time, and that'd probably be it. But because we have 5 episodes here, I decided to knock them all out in this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If we do get any updated summaries and all that, I will talk about it in a future video. But so, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please leave a like. It's greatly appreciated. And subscribe for all things Pokemon. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.